Hi, Paul Sackis, Good News Broadcast, speaking to Barry Petruzzi. Hi, Barry, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Great. For Group Vice President of Group Life, Disability, Critical Illness for Guardian, great company. And Chris Swanker, Vice President. Hi, Chris, how are you?
I'm good, Paul.
Group Dental, okay, and Vision for Guardian. Do people get dental insurance? All righty. Last minute benefit tips for employees. November marks the end of fall open enrollment season. Employees encouraged to take advantage. You guys did a survey that says that employees spend more time holiday shopping, preparing for Thanksgiving than reviewing their benefits. Is that so?
That is the case. While it's really an important time of year, it's also a hectic time of year for many people, and the unfortunate thing is sometimes, thinking about insurance doesn't rise to the top and doesn't get the attention it deserves.
Okay, they've actually given me some questions here, and I'm going to go through them because this is what you do is very important. This is security for somebody. It's settling their life today for themselves, for family, and it's settling their lives potentially for their future as well. So I'm going to ask questions here. Should I get insurance through my employer or work with a financial advisor?
Really, it's a great question, and actually, the best answer is really maybe both. What people I think should do first would be to take stock of their kind of their financial situation, their family situation, and try to identify what do they really need, what are their biggest needs, and then look at the benefits. The benefits offered through their employer is a great base. It's very easy to purchase. You can often get coverage at very inexpensive rates. And often without having to provide, answer medical questions or take exams. But then move on and work with a trusted financial advisor to kind of tailor any additional benefits to exactly what what their situation is. So, both really work well together, but the employer-based benefits are really a great base to start with.
That's very, very true. My retirement is based upon two major corporations I worked for. Now, today is November 13th, and we are in a recess with the world of finance, and everybody's figuring out how to deal with this recess period of time. So, how about right now, today? What would somebody? Is this a place for somebody to cut back or not?
Given, as you mentioned, given the economic uncertainty and the pressure that many of us are feeling on our personal budgets, it's more important than ever to take advantage of the benefits your employer offers, which means understanding what's available, choosing what's right, and then making the most of them. There's, different categories of benefits, the protection benefits that Barry represents, life, disability, and critical illness. There's not a better way to cover those big, large ticket items than that. And then the health and wellness benefits that I represent, dental and vision, which really focus on ease of budgeting, which is an important thing today, being able to save on taxes and providing cost-effective care, which will really improve your overall wellness and well-being.
Okay. And when you buy with group, I imagine that there's probably just cost savings alone with that.
Yes, it's a very economical and easy way to purchase benefits. Even when employers, a common trend nowadays is for employers to offer what we call voluntary benefits, or benefits where employees pay 100% of the premium, and just agree to take the premium collection via payroll deduction. So even in that fashion, the very efficient and inexpensive group benefits are of good value to employees.
Barry, how about insurance? How much insurance is enough insurance? Life insurance.
It's a great question, Paul. Typically, the answer would be, well, it varies based on people's personal situation, but general rule of thumb we use is anywhere from 7 to 10 times their annual salary. And I know that might sound like a lot, but if you look at what, again, we talked before earlier about getting, benefits through your employer and maybe, some additional individual benefits, you can get a lot of that through your employer. You can look at a base amount of that type of coverage through either benefits your employer is directly providing to you and paying for, in addition to what Chris mentioned, benefits offered on a voluntary basis. You'd be surprised at how inexpensive life insurance can be when you purchase it through your employer. It could be a few bucks a week. We always say, it could be a coffee or two a week, and you could purchase a pretty substantial amount of life insurance. So really, the goal would be to use that group benefit as a base, and and then try to build on that individually to get to that level.
How about disability insurance in the sense of, I don't know, here's a question, won't Social Security or Workman's Comp protect me from events of disability? What does Social Security and Workman's Comp do?
It's a good question, and it's commonly misunderstood. A lot of folks say, I have workers' comp. Well, really, the workers' comp only pays if your injury or illness is due to a workplace accident or situation, and typically we find that may be only 1 or 2 out of 10 occurrences of disability are due to workplace situations. So there's a huge gap there. Social Security would cover that gap, but again, the Social Security benefit tends to be lower in terms of what proportion of your income it provides, and the qualification requirements for Social Security disability tend to be a bit more stringent than what you would find in an employer-provided policy. So buying disability through your employer is a great way to supplement both of those programs.
So if you're say you're now with extended lifespans, right? Which is good news, over the hundreds and so on and so forth as we discover more about DNA and genes and RNA and blah, blah, blah. So if we're working at 60, where it's a midlife kind of a thing, and you say you've never took the disability insurance, something like that, are you able to get it, though, at 60, say, and you plan now to be in the workforce for another 20 years?
It's a great question. Oftentimes, again, we're in the open enrollment season, and oftentimes an employer, if they're purchasing coverage and there's an open enrollment, folks can go in and purchase it without providing any medical information or things like that. It's a great point, which is why when your benefits are being offered, you really need to go and take a look at what your employer is offering you the first time they're offering it to you, because that's when you can get in with very little fuss or muss, and then not have to worry about it down the road.
Chris, teeth and vision, to me are almost like a really good thing to be working for a company that gives that. How many percentage of companies give something like that?
It's larger companies. Most large companies, over 1,000 lives, offer dental and vision coverage.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
And it goes down from there, so smaller companies a little less likely, but it is the most popular employee benefit. Not the most offered, which would be medical, but employees love dental and vision benefits, and there's 3 reasons for that. First, they like the fact that if they're asked to pay for it, and many times they are, you have the convenience and the ease of enrolling and payroll deduction, which makes budgeting a snap. Many times they're able to pay for those premiums pre-tax. Their employer will allow them to pay pre-tax, which saves on taxes, and I don't know anyone that's opposed to paying less taxes. And it's a cost-effective benefit to the extent that there are dentists and eye doctors, opticians, and optometrists that are part of networks and have agreed to take discounts with the carriers that are selling the insurance products, and those discounts trickle directly down to what the employee ends up paying. So choosing and using the benefits wisely can save a lot of money in the long run. Last question
here, and then you guys have a great website, GuardianEnrollmentTips.com. We'll link directly over there. But how can I pay for alternative medicine?
It's a great question, and that's one of the reasons as we're developing the critical illness product, we were looking at things like that, because oftentimes if it's not covered in your medical plan and you've got a serious illness, purchasing a critical illness policy, that money could be used for whatever you want it for. And so oftentimes people have a serious illness, their medical plan may not pay for that alternative medicine. Critical illness would provide a cash benefit. They could turn right around and pay for that medicine.
Okay. And insurance companies just overall, there's a lot of internal alternative kinds of things. Yoga, they say there's lots of things that can be helpful for us to keep living longer.
Right.
Exactly. Yep, and www.guardianenrollmenttips.com will put everyone in the right frame of mind to evaluate their own personal needs.
Perfect. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Very important stuff. And everybody take a look at your insurance. Shop a little less. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Paul.
Thanks for sharing the good news. Bye-bye.